Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing the eyeshadow palette tag. So from what I understand, or what I heard another creator mention, that this might have been started like on TikTok or something, but here on YouTube, Allie Glines and Samantha March collaborated together and answered some questions about their eyeshadow palette collection. So Miss Melissa M Beauty here on YouTube filmed the same video, and I was leaving a comment on hers just telling her that I had some of the same palettes that she was mentioning, and she said, you know, I would be really interested to see what your picks would be for this, so I thought, I need to do this video. If you guys don't know her, or if you've never seen her channel, I'm going to link it down below, so go check her out. So I'm just going to jump on that bandwagon. We're going to dive into my eyeshadow palette collection. So if that sounds interesting, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first question in this set is, what is your newest palette? Well, because I've been purchasing a lot of makeup here recently, I have two new palettes. I believe they both got here on the same day. The first one I just recently did a review of. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Norvina Volume 4. I'll show you that in case you haven't already seen it. It's a beautiful palette, very colorful. So I will link that in the cards above if you guys want to check out my review on this palette. The second one that I got was the Hasina 2 from Blush Tribe. When I found out that Blush Tribe was closing up shop and I had never tried anything from them before, I went ahead and purchased this like quickly. So let me just show you the inside. It's such a beautiful palette. I've dabbled in it a little bit. I kind of like, you know, tried a little mini eye look with it and haven't formed a complete opinion about it, but those are my two newest palettes. Okay, the next question is, what are your oldest palettes? I had a really hard time with this because I've already decluttered my eyeshadow palette collection several times, like leading up until this point. A lot of the older palettes that I had, I gave away. So I went into my Ulta purchases, the very first purchase I ever made online at Ulta, and I had ordered 5 eyeshadow palettes in one order because I'm crazy. When I went in, I went hard. Like, I went ham diving into the makeup world, okay? So, the 5 palettes that I picked up in that order were the Tarte Tartelette. This is their Amazonian Clay, like, all matte palette. Very good, like, neutral palette if you're somebody that doesn't like, you know, really bold colors, or you just need stuff to be able to blend into. Like, this would be every transition shade you would probably ever need as far as neutrals goes. So that was the first one. The next one in that order was the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. I really loved this palette when I first got it. It smells like chocolate. The shades are so foiled and beautiful. I don't use this much anymore. I also don't use that Tarte palette anymore. I have so many that I forget what I have. So I love being able to dig back through my collection. Just kind of reminds me of what I have. So that's that. The next one in that order was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance. I just recently actually did a video where I included this and did a look. I'll try to remember to link that above also if you want to see a look with this. So yeah, this is like your iconic palette. Everybody raves about this palette. It's very well regarded in the beauty community. So of course I grabbed that one. The next one in that order is the Naked Heat by Urban Decay. This is one that I just never got on with. I don't know why. Every time I used it, I just came up with the same look. And it was all like, I just feel like all the colors just muddied together. So I've used this probably 5 or 6 times, and I don't ever reach for it. So anyway. So the next palette in that same order was the Jaclyn Hill palette with Morphe. The OG palette. So that's what that looks like. And yeah, those are my 5 oldest palettes. Okay, so the next question is, what's your most expensive palette? I thought it was going to be my Pat McGrath, but then I realized that Natasha Denona is a little bit more expensive, like $4 more. So I do have the Natasha Denona Gold palette. This one is $129, which is crazy. That's what it looks like on the inside here. Beautiful palette. This is actually the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. I got a hair on my lip. I did a get ready with me for work type of video, so I don't know if it'll be up before this video or after. If it's up before, I'll link it. If not, check it out. But that's what I'm wearing today. I do really like this palette. It's beautiful. I don't use it as much as I should for how much I paid for it. I honestly never thought that I would spend that kind of money on an eyeshadow palette. I never planned to. There was so much hype around this, and I know that I got this when it was on sale. I feel like, was it the Sephora sale maybe? No, I think Natasha Denona had a sale on her website where it wasn't half off, was it? I don't remember, but it was a really good sale, and I was like, now's the time to grab it, so that's what I did. So this next question is, what is your most affordable palette? The most affordable palette I own is $3, and it is the e.l.f. Bite-Sized Eyeshadow Palette. This one is their Cream and Sugar. A lot of people have mentioned these in their tag video because a lot of people were buying these. I think it's really good quality. I've heard some pretty mixed opinions. I haven't tried any of the other ones. That's what it looks like on the inside. This is the only one that I've tried, and I do think that it's great quality, especially for being $3, so that's that. Okay, so the next question is, what is your everyday palette? I picked two. If it was an everyday look that I'm going for, something that I can do easily, doesn't take really any effort, any time, something I just want to throw on and run out the door, I would choose either my Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette, because it's neutral, and there's everything you need in here just to create a really beautiful neutral look. So I do really like this one. The other one that I would choose if I was just looking to throw something on and run out the door would be the Soft Glam palette from Anastasia. This is another one that I've used quite a bit. It's just, again, got those everyday neutral tones in here. You can do quite a bit with it, and I really love both of those palettes. Okay, the next question says, what is your most colorful palette? This was really difficult for me because I have a lot of colorful palettes in my collection. Here, especially recently, I've picked up a lot. I dipped my toes in the colorful pool, and then I dove head first. You know, I want them all the rainbows. I gotta have them all. So I picked two for this one as well, just because I don't know, I'm indecisive, you know? So the first one that I picked was the Glamlite Cake palette. This palette is the definition of a rainbow palette. I'm going to show you the inside here. It is absolutely beautiful. It's got every single color in here under the sun except for black and white. But it's got everything else. Well, black and white aren't in the rainbow, so. So the second palette that I picked for this one was the Carity Matte palette. And this one just has every color as well, except for it includes black and brown and gray and white. So it's got literally every color of the rainbow and then some. So I didn't know which one to choose. Like when I think colorful, I just think bright colors. That's why I chose the Cake palette. But I wanted to include this one too. The Cake palette I have not used yet. I got it recently. I haven't even had time to use it because I've been trying to get so many other different videos filmed. But I will use that in an upcoming video in case you guys are interested in watching a tutorial with it, or you know, my thoughts on it. And then for the Carity palette, I feel like I used it once, and this was right as I was really getting into makeup, and I wasn't really that great at blending color or really creating really colorful eye looks. I struggled with it, so I don't even remember my full thoughts on this. This is something I'm gonna have to revisit in the future. All right, so the next question is, what is your smallest palette? Most people were mentioning their e.l.f. Bite-Sized, and I didn't want to mention that one again if I had something else that was as small or smaller. So this is from Oriza. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Oriza Beauty. This is something that I got, I believe, in an Ipsy. I think it was an Ipsy. It might have been, I don't even remember. I don't know if it was Birchbox, Ipsy. I'm not sure. This is what the inside looks like. I think it's a really pretty, neutral mini palette. I'm going to swatch, some of those on my fingertips for you. The quality on this palette was actually really good. I don't want to say I was surprised, but I was kind of surprised when I used it. Cute little neutral palette. I'm not really sure how much this one costs because I did get it in a subscription service, but that's my smallest palette. The next question is, what is your biggest palette? I've seen a lot of people mention this brand because this brand is the king or queen of making large palettes. So I have two in this category because they're both the same size. I have the Morphe and James Charles palette, and I'm sure most of you know what the inside of this one looks like, but I'll show you again. It looks like that. I almost picked this one for my most colorful, but I didn't. I knew I was going to use it for this question, and I didn't want to keep repeating palettes if I could avoid it. The next one that I have is also from Morphe, and this is their 39A. And that's what that looks like too. So these are two palettes I bought. I don't know, I got the James Charles palette probably a month or two after it first came out. The 39A, I'm pretty sure I bought right when it came out. And I want to say I've used these palettes maybe 2 or 3 times a piece, tops. Such a shame. Okay, so the next question is, what is your palette with the best memory? I had a really hard time picking just one palette because I had several that I was like, oh, but you know, that's why I really love this palette. So I picked 2 for this one as well. So the first palette that I'm going to share with you is my Makeup Geek palette that I assembled myself. Show you what the inside of it looks like. So if you look at the color story here, I have green eyes. Can you tell what I was trying to do here? I was trying to compliment my green eyes. When I first really started getting into makeup, I would say it was in 2018. It's only been a couple years since I dove headfirst into the makeup world. But when I first started really getting interested in eyeshadows, and a friend of mine at work told me about these little palettes that you can build, I thought that was the best thing since sliced bread. I didn't know you could build a palette and make it whatever you wanted it to be and put whatever, finishes and formulas in there. I was excited. That just shows you how far I've come in my little makeup journey here. But I was so excited to get this. I spent a good while picking out the shades. I just remember the excitement that I felt when I was doing all that, and the excitement that I felt when this arrived at my house and I was playing with it, and I felt like, I created that. And I don't know, I miss those days when I felt that excitement about makeup where you couldn't wait to have it and you cherished it when you got it and you couldn't wait to use it. I want to get back to that kind of simplicity, but that's why this one is one of my best memories. The second one that I'm going to share with you is my Smoke Sessions palette from Melt Cosmetics. And the reason why I wanted to include this one in here is because this is the first palette that I filmed a YouTube video with. When I first started my channel, I was nervous, I was excited. I was more excited than I was nervous. Sitting down and filming with an eyeshadow palette or just filming looks, it made me feel some type of way. I just felt exhilarated, and I was so excited to talk about what I was using, and I still am, don't get me wrong. But this was just very new to me, the whole idea of filming with makeup and diving into these crazy eyeshadow palettes that were beautiful and stunning, and the formulas. I just think that I had to include this. Okay, so the next question is, what palette is worth the hype? Now, I don't know how much hype surrounds this, but I have seen quite a few people rave about this, which is why I bought it. And I have got to agree that the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette is absolutely worth the hype. And I'll show you the inside. This palette is just absolutely beautiful. The finishes in here are beautiful. It's got this pressed glitter, but it doesn't even feel like a pressed glitter. It feels more like a shimmer. I don't know how to explain it. It is so gorgeous. It's got some topper shades. The mattes blend beautifully. They're just they're pastels. So this is the perfect mix of pastel and shimmer. It's beautiful, and I love this palette. So if you've been on the fence about picking up this palette, you're not sure if you're going to like it, I love it. So I think this is totally worth the hype. Okay, the next question is, what is not worth the hype? I picked this palette up because it was hyped up and because I thought, oh man, I gotta have it. Everybody's raving about it. This is the Urban Decay Born to Run. I don't know what it is about this palette that just does not speak to me. I've tried using it more than a handful of times, and I just don't think it's anything to write home about. I don't think it's anything revolutionary. I feel like there's a lot of orange in this palette. Am I wrong? I don't know. I don't know what it is, y'all, but I just don't think it's worth the hype. So if you're somebody that loves this palette, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings, but I don't see it. I don't see the appeal. Okay, the next question is, what is your favorite palette from a favorite brand? That was another tough one. I have a lot of favorite brands, and I have a lot of favorite eyeshadow palettes. So I tried to think about something I didn't already mention, and I had to choose something from ColourPop. ColourPop is one of those brands that they just know how to get you. They really do. They know what they're doing. They create beautiful products. They do it at a price point that is attainable and is for everybody. And I had to choose the It's My Pleasure palette. That's the inside. There's the outside. But I'm somebody that really loves a purple color story. I like purple on my eyes. I do have green eyes. I feel like it complements that really well. So I love this palette. I've created lots of looks with it. I've used it a lot. So that's definitely my favorite palette from one of my favorite brands. Okay, so the next question is, what palette have you used the most, or what's gotten the most use? That was really difficult because I have nearly like 200 eyeshadow palettes, and I try not to get stuck on any one palette for too long because I want to show love to everything that I have. So I tried to think of it in terms of like, over the history of what I have, what have I used the most? I guess that's what this question means, right? Light bulb. So the palette I chose for that was the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia in Beverly Hills. Again, I did show this a little bit ago in one of my other questions, so I can show it one last time. That's what it looks like. But it's just easy. It's easy to use, easy to come up with an eye look. I don't have any issues with blending or patchiness or anything like that. It's really good. I decided to add one more question on here. Somebody else mentioned that they had added questions, and I can't remember who I grabbed it from, and I do apologize, but the next question is, what is your most underrated palette? This was also difficult because I feel like a lot of what I have is underrated. A lot of stuff I have nobody really talks about. But I wanted to choose the ColourPop Flutterby palette. I bought this one back, I don't know, it's been a while ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I think. Let me show you what it looks like on the inside here. I want to say I bought this after watching Samantha March's video when she used this, and I thought, that is beautiful. They're cooler tone shadows, which is not something that we see a whole lot of. We see a lot of more like warm tones, and it's just beautiful. It really is. Anytime that I've used this, I've come up with really pretty eye looks. It's simple, it's easy, and I love this. So I would say this is my most underrated palette. I don't hear that many people talking about it, and I really love it. So that wraps up this video talking about some of my eyeshadow palettes. If anybody watching this also has a larger palette collection, or you don't even have to have a large palette collection, if you want to answer these questions, you want to be part of this tag, I am imploring you to make a video like this and let us know about your eyeshadow palette collection. Let us know down below that you've done that. I'll go check it out. I want to hear your all's feedback and input on what I chose, so make sure you guys leave that down below in the comments section. If you guys like this video, make sure you take the time to give it a big thumbs up. It helps my channel out so much, and I'm very grateful when you guys take the time to do that. If you're not already subscribed and you like my content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, that way you're notified of future uploads, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.